everyone, and welcome to the big show. I'm your host, Jerk, and I can see by those short shorts, roller skates, and the booty bass thumping that it must be Hump Day. And I know you're all celebrating so hard because you finally unlocked the Piotr Bagration. No? Yeah, well, we're also not too far away from me getting my beady eyes on the next patch notes, and we know a few things. Something's happening with carrier concealment, and what... Sorry, my producer is chiming in my ear with some important news. Let's check in with Jerk down at KRK and Channel 5 News. Jerk, I understand you have some breaking news. Yes, Jerk, thank you. The official WoW's community contributors will be getting access to the Missouri for a week next week. Back to you in the studio, Jerk. Thanks, Jerk. Well, that's exciting. But you know what else is exciting? Having a guest on you haven't seen in 221 episodes. So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the legendary tier U.S. Heavy Cruiser, Battle Cruiser, whatever they identify as now. Give it up for Alaska. Whoa. Hey there, Alaska. I've got to say, you are looking a lot different than the last time we saw you. Yes, this Alaska has gotten the Hans and Franz treatment and has been, like my jams, pumped up. Some would argue probably a little too far. Now, if you're looking to take the recently roided out Alaska for a night on the town, you're gonna need some bros to hold them back. So we invited along Betty Davis, Sidestorm, and Norman Scott, along with It's-A Me, I'm Mbelly, and the Stellinium Reserve 40-ounce himself, Von Essen. Now, some of you may be wondering why I have moseyed so far down the side of this map, and to answer that, I must tell you all, I am an introvert, and I do not like to be close to my teammates. I had come down here to get into a crossfire position, hoping the Bismarck behind me would have cut in to make it possible, but my boyish charm has gotten the best of me this time, as this street puppy will follow behind me the rest of this match, which grinds my gears. It is one thing to have to position against the red team. It is another to have to try evasive maneuvers to get away from your own teammates. Now, there is a Conqueror and Stalin Chad down here along with that Mogami, so my div mate is going to begin to split so as to not get wrecked, and that is perfectly acceptable. We always say you want to win your side, and while 3 ships still remain down here, the Kleber's particular set of skills can be used elsewhere. So we will say sayonara to him for the rest of this match while I begin to work down this Conqueror. Now, as we work down this Conqueror, let's talk about the new and improved improvements. That's a bit redundant, of the Alaska. Its heals reload instantly almost. It's got improved penetration on its gun. It's got improved penetration angles. Well, it always had those. And with Von Essen, I'm increasing that even more as we just hit that Conqueror for a couple citadels right there. It is really, really strong right now. And it's hard to not sound like you're exaggerating. But the things that I have been able to slap around with this right now, and some of that, is just kind of the state of legendary tier. There are still a lot of battleships out there sailing around broadside, but at any rate, with the improved accuracy too, it's also much easier to be hitting those destroyers, the battleships. You're going to be seeing me hitting some pretty decent shots at range here. Right now I'm switching back over to HE because that Conqueror is just angled out too much. And I really want to get rid of this ship before I begin to move in and deal with Stalingrad. Now, dealing with that Stalingrad is going to be a bit interesting because if you haven't seen my Stalingrad videos, I said that it is not a ship for most players. For those who don't know, the Stalingrad does not have HE. It does on the PC, though on the PC it also only has like a 26mm bow. But here, in the Legends treatment, no HE. So that really means that as a Stalingrad, you need to be able to position well. And positioning well is not what this Bismarck is doing behind me. And it is not what we are about to see unfold in front of us. Now, there is something else to this, and you can see I have a cruiser buddy coming in on the right side of A here. So once we get rid of this Mogami, we're going to essentially have to deal with the Stalingrad. And a Stalingrad can bow tank, but Stalingrad only has 32 millimeter armor on that bow, so I can use HE to damage them, and they will be doing minimal damage on me. So part of positioning in this situation would probably be to go dark and reposition. I probably wouldn't have been just out there in the first place. I would have been creating those crossfires like I tried to do here as well, instead of being in a direct line on the map with my teammates. But anyway, because of how they are and how they are now pressuring us by coming inwards for some reason, you're going to see myself and my teammate over here on the right scissor them. Scissor me timbers. I mean, technically this is a very close range crossfire, but yeah. I don't think this is a wise maneuver. The Stalingrad's going to have to give broadside at one point, right? They either are going to give broadside to me or to this, I think it's Embra. Either one of us at this close range will be able to Citadel it. You can see I was anticipating them turning there. I just checked their guns are facing the Embras, and bonk. And real quick, we have picked up our third ship sunk. And this is when I started thinking, okay, how are we going to pull off this Kraken? So if I were to continue heading north on my current trajectory, I would run the risk of any of those battleships turning back east and setting myself too far away from being able to shoot at them. So I decided to take a hard turn towards B instead. I did ask my division mate what the health of those two battleships are, and he said they were fairly low. And so I am going to go ahead and put on AP to try and smash these fools at range. Now I do see the Yamato get hit with HE way out there, and they are going to end up putting the fire out immediately. And since the Vladivostok is turning bow in towards me, that pretty much means that we need to be switching over to HE at this point, since we can't really do much to a bow in Vladivostok. Now watch the Yamato here. Okay, so we see that they are burning right now, and I'm waiting for that fire to be put out. We're going to look up and see that it has been, and we are going to see if the Kraken Lord wants to be appeased with flame. So, wait for the hang time. The Kraken Lord does want appeased with flames. A double fire on the Yamato. We know they're not going to put that out. I see shots going through the air. I'm expecting it to get yoinked, but no. There's our fourth. However, no Vladivostok now. So now we've got to try and get this Suzuya. And again, this is another good reason that we headed towards B. As you know, staying centrally located gives you more stuff to shoot at more frequently, because you are just going to run into the red team more likely. So let's get some shots on this Suzuya. And hopefully the dispersion gods are on our team this time.
Attention. Reporting the target.
And no, not really. I mean, this is kind of long range, but I have seen the Alaska nail these shots pretty easily sometimes, but you know, that's just RNG. So I'm holding my shot here because I want the Suzuya to commit to a turn. They're kiting away right now. Go ahead and shoot, fine, whatever. And of course, as soon as I do that, they begin to turn again. So that's fine. We're going to watch and track their movement. And now they are broadside to us. They're also pretty weak, so it's just going to depend on whose shells get there first. And I will give you a hint. It is mine. And we will be picking up Kraken 307 and the Alaska Kraken. Nah, it doesn't sound as good as I was hoping. But, six-pack time. With the Iowa, who's been hiding up there hiding up there for much of the match. Switching over to HE because they are bow into me once again. And we are reloaded thanks to Mimbelli. Let's get the shot off. This should be a six-pack. Look at how low they are. Alright, our HE shells are coming in high. And that's going to do it. Let's see the scoreboard. 2,943 base XP for a good game. I was really puzzled that I didn't pick up the high caliber there. We must have been pretty close, and looking down the charts, a pretty good game to much of the blue team in red. One player breaking 1,000 XP, unacceptable, step it up. And that's going to wrap it up for this one. If you think the Alaska should be given torpedoes to help make it slightly more competitive, hit like. If you think it should be relegated to AP only like the Stalingrad, hit dislike. Questions, comments, covfefes, leave them down below. If this has left you on the edge of your seat clamoring to know who we will interview next, think about hitting that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, folks. I will get back out there for another one soon, and we will talk then.